Why hello reader friends, it's Cassie and today I'm going to do my first tag. So we'll see how it goes. I decided to do the unpopular opinions tag, so we're just starting on my PN shot here. But we'll see how it goes. I think the original person who did this was Book Archer from what I've seen. I'll try and find a link for that and put it in the video down below, but I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this tag because it is not new and it has been done by pretty much everyone. So I thought I would jump right in because I definitely know I have some unpopular opinions. The first question was a popular book you didn't like. For me, I feel like this one, I don't really have a lot of books that I just did not like at all, period, just cut and dry didn't like. But there are definitely a few popular books that I read them and I was like, eh. So this is one of them, and it is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I know so many people are so excited to read King's Cage, which I think it's King's Cage. But I read this, it was okay, and I don't know, I just don't feel the need to read any of the sequels. That's basically what it comes down to, is I'm like, well, it was alright, but whatever. Question number 2 is a book everyone hates but you love. The first one is my recent read, The Last Star by Rick Yancey. I feel like people really loved The Fifth Wave. I feel like everyone fell off at Infinite Sea and almost no one read The Last Star, and if they did, they were differing opinions about it. But for me, I really liked this book, for sure. I understand why people fell off at Infinite Sea. I did really enjoy this, and I did enjoy how it ended. I thought it wrapped up quite nicely, and I like this book, and I know a lot of people don't, or they didn't get around to reading it because they didn't like the series. So that's how I feel about that. Question number 3 is a book where the main character ends up with a character you didn't want them to, or a ship you didn't like. Oh, I'm gonna be shot. I don't have my copy with me, but I have very strong feelings about the Peeta-Katniss relationship. Yes, Peeta and Katniss from the Hunger Games is definitely the ship that I'm using for this, for sure. I have never finished a series and hated a ship more. So now that that's out there, I feel like the relationship is super fake. It started out where Katniss basically didn't give him a second glance until the games, and then they had to fake this relationship, and they just continued faking it until they'd convinced themselves that it was real. Went on to the end of Mockingjay, and I feel like the end of Mockingjay, if the writer kept going, they would have realized they were both unhappy and probably got a divorce. So there you go. That's what I think. But I honestly think she should have been with Gale. I think there was more potential there and more connection between Gale and Katniss than Peeta and Katniss. Gale was a really strong character that she should have been with and would have helped her improve who she was, rather than help her fake to everyone else that she was something she wasn't, which is what I feel like Peeta basically did. I just feel like Gale and Katniss were a better match than Peeta and Katniss, and I feel like the Peeta-Katniss relationship was super fake. Question number 4 is a popular genre you don't frequently reach for. And for me, this one is right immediate, it's contemporary. If you look at my shelves, I don't have a lot of contemporary on them, and that's because I find it hard to part with my money for a contemporary book. I can't really tell you why, because in the end, most of the contemporaries I've read, I ended up liking. But contemporary is not something I even really started reading until a year or 2 ago. And don't get me wrong, there's some contemporary I like Looking for Alaska by John Green, really liked that. Rainbow Rowell's Fangirl and Eleanor and Park, really liked that. But, and those are on my shelf. You will find those on this shelf. But, that being said, generally I don't reach for it. It's something I try to read more on Wattpad or in oh, this ebook is on sale for 90 cents, let me buy it sort of thing. That being said, I understand why people like it. Like I said, I do read it and I do generally enjoy it, but I still, at this time, I just can't bring myself to buy it. Question number 5 is a beloved character you hate. And for this one, this series, I don't have Divergent because I got it originally as an ebook. So rather than pull out 2 books from the shelf, I figured I'd just pull out this one. A popular, like, I feel like everyone loves Tris and everyone hated the way this book ended, like I said already. But I feel like she was such a Mary Sue that it wasn't even funny. I did not like her. Like, the first book she was okay, and then it just, the way it carried on through the whole series, that she was just defeating everything that came at her, and she had next to no faults. And it was like, especially when it came to the end of this book, I was like, when there's things that will kill everyone in the world, even this fictional world, when there's things that will kill everyone in the world, but they just don't kill her, you can't tell me she's not a Mary Sue. I really enjoyed 4. I thought he was a well-written character. I did not enjoy Tris that much. Sorry, not sorry. Like I said, I feel like this was a bad tag to start with because I feel like I'm going to be shot and shunned from the community as I've barely joined it, but what can you do? The next one is a popular author you can't get into. And for this one, I have a couple as well, but I feel like these, I'm not going to be shot for these as much. And that is James Patterson. This was the first James Patterson book I read, but I've seen this author's name around everywhere, and I thought I'd give it a try, and I just wasn't overly thrilled with it. It really didn't come across as anything special to me, so I probably won't pick up another one by James Patterson for quite a while, unless something really strikes out to me, but I thought I'd give this a try and wasn't super impressed, so I guess James Patterson isn't my thing. And the next one is one that I feel like my dad might shoot me for, and that is John Grisham. Yes, John Grisham. I mean, the book was really well written. This was the only book by John Grisham I've read yet. I read it for a challenge, and it was like a popular author's first book. So I was like, well, I haven't read John Grisham, and this was the first book he wrote. And my dad loves John Grisham, my mom likes John Grisham, so I thought, okay, well, I'll give it a go. And I honestly felt like the whole, like there was at least 200 pages in the middle here that could have been cut out, and I wouldn't have cared. John Grisham, I guess, just isn't for me. I know he's a really popular author, obviously. He's got tons and tons of books out. And I've also heard that this isn't the best one to start with. So I'm thinking I might try John Grisham again and maybe ask for specific recommendations as to what I should read, because I've heard some of them are really good. But as it stands right now, I'm not a huge John Grisham fan. Like I said, though, it was well written. I just got really bored in the middle of this. So the next one, question number 7, is a popular trope you are tired of seeing. And for me, this is definitely, hands down, the nerdy, unpretty girl that ends up with like 3-4 guys pining after her. And I'm like, no, that is so unrealistic. It's not even funny. And I mean, I will be completely honest, I think this is the reason why I don't really reach for contemporary novels much, because I feel like of the contemporary novels I've read, that seems to be the reoccurring theme. I don't know, I just can't get behind it. I mean, when I read it the first couple times, I was like, okay, but then the more I read it, it always seemed to be the same type of girl. I was the same thing as a cookie cutter, just like, ooh. Like, I'm over it. That's probably why I don't read contemporary much. Question number 8 is a popular book or series you have no interest in. And obviously, based on my question alone, you can probably guess I don't have this on my shelves, and I haven't actually looked at the book in person and read the synopsis myself anywhere. But from what I've heard here on BookTube, I don't really have any interest in reading the Mara Dyer series, and I know there's lots of people who like rave about it, but I don't know, just the way, I don't know whether it was just the way I've heard it explained or what. I just, meh. Question number 9, and the last question is, the book is always better than the movie, but what movie is better than the book? And I think I mentioned this just in my April wrap-up, and for me, it's definitely The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is a short story, so right there, I mean, you can't really make a movie off of it unless you change things and add a lot more in to make a movie. So I feel like Secret Life of Walter Mitty is kind of a cop-out, but the movie was extremely good, and the short story was kind of meh. So, yeah, otherwise, I think what movie is better than the book? I'm not sure if there's a lot of movies that are better than the books. But I will say that if you are a fan of like Hannibal at all, like The Silence of the Lambs, the movie with like Jodie Foster in it, is exactly the same as the book. So, I mean, the movie might not get better than the book, but it can get as good as the book. And I would definitely say that The Silence of the Lambs is one where I actually read it after having watched it and was like, well then, that was kind of a waste of time because it is like the exact same. That is all my unpopular opinions for this tag. And feel free to shoot me because I know there's some people who probably want to for some of the opinions I had in this. So, however, on the off chance you do like my opinions, feel free to subscribe and let me know you're watching. If you have a contradictory opinion or you agree, why do you agree? Let me know down below. I think that's it for now, guys. So thank you for watching. And this is Cassie signing off. Bye.